Good morning. Today, I am going to talk a little bit about Uranus, if I can say it correctly, the planet of awakening and disruption, which is really going to have some impacts on us. And right now is currently 29 degrees, meaning that whatever is coming, the matter has been codified and it is the end of the matter. And today we have Venus Uranus conjunct at 29 degrees. So that is a very important pivotal point. But now Venus is separating from this conjunction. So something else to know. So let's go ahead and open this up to talk about this very complex energy of revolution that we are currently in. Uranus in astrology is known as the planet of revolution, innovation, and sudden and unexpected change. It represents the urge for breaking free from things that don't serve, to awaken and embrace a new way of thinking and being. Uranus brings awakening and innovation. It's going to certainly disrupt our status quo. People will rebel and seek liberation, and we will unfortunately have sudden and unexpected events take place. When Uranus is active in your chart, it often signals a period of profound transformation where old patterns are shattered and new possibilities now emerge. And myself, I just want to say, I have Sun conjunct Uranus in my 8th house, where this is really going to get into shared resources, likely finances, intimacy, deep psychological bonds, transformation and rebirth, and the mysteries of life and death. These are the areas where I'm revolutionizing. And how might I be revolutionizing? Well, and I want to say this, it doesn't always mean something big, bad, and scary. In my case, I grew up without parents. My mom is autistic and was really unable to respond to me. I have Chiron in the 3rd house, where information was hard fought and difficult, where I also have myself known. Uranus, where I have wounding in my 8th house. It's clear I grew up without parents, and currently I'm helping take care of my mom. I'm providing her final bit of love and care between my sister and I. And for us, it's revolutionizing our sense of family and belonging, where neither my sister nor I felt like we belonged. And so enough with the personal information, but the 8th house now, where I have Uranus, is about shared resources and finances. So upsets in that area, intimacy and deep psychological bonds, and a transformation and rebirth, and the mysteries of life and death. I'm likely to lose somebody I love in this time. This placement can bring sudden changes in your financial situations, unconventional approaches to intimacy, and a drive to explore the depths of the psyche, which I'm very much into. It often marks a life path filled with profound and sometimes shocking transformations that ultimately foster growth and self-understanding. In my case, how this is going to impact, and you might want to look at your chart, because this is such a big change. We're in a year that is a precession year. We're closing out a 26,500 year cycle. We're getting ready to have another 36,000 year cycle as Uranus, yes, and Saturn and Neptune all kind of kiss and talk, and Pluto, where everything is about to change, okay, where a lot of these outer planets are bringing us back to some reality in a universal sense. Many will experience breakthroughs. Definitely there'll be new perspectives coming on board and opportunities for growth and change. I realize that it's really easy with all the drama we're hearing about to be exceedingly frightened. But I am telling you this is I am sensing something, although difficult, that we are going to go through. If the big, beautiful piggy bill passes, then every one of us will suffer because, well, myself, late stage cancer, I really can't afford to not have the help. And I'm going to admit it, I'm frightened, but at the same time, there's something else that I've already shifted and done anyway. I don't do normal medical care. I'm on the alternative path anyway. And what's happening? I'm learning how to deal with what I have effectively, Uranus in the eighth. That really, for the most part, I need labs and I need a doctor overseeing all of that, but it's within reason, it's within earshot. So a very, very important. So what might be the things that are coming up? So between 2025 and 2033, what might Uranus in Gemini look like? Well, it's fast, it's curious, it's adaptable, unlike Taurus, where it was sticky and anxiety creating and uncomfortable. It's welcoming change. Now, this is not going to stay in Gemini the entire throughout time. It's going to retrograde back into Taurus. So we're going to have one more pass back through Taurus. So this is important. Gemini, like I said, is fast and curious, and Uranus and Gemini will accelerate shifts in our communication because it is how we communicate. It is like our electricity, our electrical system in some ways through the airwaves. So information and media is definitely going to change. Technology and transportation will change. Education and learning will change. Social connections and communities and how we connect is going to change. Expect rapid innovation. Blurred lines between truth and fiction, which we are seeing a ton, and a challenge to binary thinking. This is why those of us who are neurodivergent, we are scary to this particular time because we think differently and we will bring a lot of innovation to this time. Historically, Uranus and Gemini coincides with major technological leaps and societal upheavals. So we had the birth of the computer, mass media, and also another area we might want to be mindful of is significant wars. Now, I don't do predictive per se, and I've said this before, and I think it's important to mention again that although it is viewed that astrologers can look at the chart and tell you everything that's going on, it's one of 97 possibilities. And I want to be honest about that. I do get an impression, and a lot of times what I get is correct, and it's a lot of divination. But on the other hand, it's very arrogant to say, I know what's going to happen. And so I really do try to avoid it. And, predictive work is, you want to get egg on your face, be predictive. It'll help you out real fast. Okay. So what is the societal impact of what's coming? Information at this point is going to start moving much faster, and the way we connect and communicate will radically change. There will be increased polarization and opposition, unfortunately, and new forms of dialogue and understanding. The collective will pause to think in more nuanced ways, layered ways, moving beyond, and let's underline this, the black and white perspectives. And we need to. I am so sick of the simple-mindedness of people thinking that your skin color somehow makes you who you are. And if I'm white, I'm superior. That's just utter poppycock. I'm so embarrassed by my white population that I represent that I can't even begin to tell you. Okay, I personally am also a big advocate of understanding where your Chiron is. And because it is the gateway, it is the bridge, it is our rainbow bridge. It is how we function in such a manner that healing in our lives can truly take place. Now, I have Chiron in Pisces in the third, where I've had exceedingly deep wounding in the area of communication and learning. I was learning disabled as a child, yet a genius by default. I was able to do math much beyond my years at a very early age, yet I couldn't communicate. I struggled as a child, and I've had to work very hard over the course of my life to overcome this. But for me, my Chiron is conjunct my South Node, which suggests that I came in with profound wounding to my tongue, which led to me feeling the wounding where I developed cancer in my thyroid and across my vocal cords. So very profound. But this is also where I need to focus, gaining my voice back so that I can heal that wound in my 8th house sun conjunct Uranus. So I also have Mars in the 6th, and it's square Pluto in the 8th, where again, my chart says transformation and change is everything about this lifetime. Mars in the 6th house is about intense drive and work ethic. And I need to assert myself in my daily routines and service. But for me, unfortunately, overworking brings health challenges because we cannot forget that the 6th house is tied to our health. And we must ask our natal charts when we do this work, how our house of health is going to be impacted. And so this is a 6th and 8th house process with, of course, your whole chart involved. And also, again, I have Pluto in the 8th house where I can't tell you how profound the changes are for me at this time, where I'm going through deep transformation, where I do have fascination with what is hidden. I want to know what isn't being said to us. I know that it's a pack full of lies. I'm shocked and surprised, Uranus, that many people believe any of what's being said anymore because it is so not true. Okay, I have a drive to explore the taboo and mysterious subjects that are being kept from us. And I also have Mars square Pluto, which can be about power struggles where I don't buy or adapt to, I need my daddy in the White House. And so this is where perhaps my Uranus is ready to come out and tell you all, you don't need your daddy. You had a daddy. And if you have a wound here, you need help in a different way. You need some spiritual help. You need some therapeutic help. And really, quite frankly, we are in a mass psychosis with many people so angry and bitter that they don't care that they're hurting themselves to hurt someone else, the other. And we've had this particular scapegoating pattern historically, and we don't have to look far. We can look to the Bolshevik Revolution. We'll find there that we scapegoated the billionaires, and we went in and slaughtered them and said no more. And then we went through a period of time in Germany where we scapegoated the Jewish people because people were perceiving them as having all the money and not sharing the resources. And again, we wiped out a mass group of people. Is that what's coming? I think we have to ask ourselves if that's what's happening. So what might be coming? But I'm going to tell you something. I think we're going to shift. And I think we're going to shift hardcore spiritually. This could be some rapid and unpredictable kinds of things. It could be war. It could be, and one thing that I'm kind of liking as a medical astrologer, it could be that we become aware that in the 1600s, that astrology was taken away as a medical modality, and that physicians were required to master astrology to become physicians, and barbers were considered the physicians of the day for surgery, for instance. So it wasn't really the same thing. We didn't enter or penetrate the body. We didn't try to go in like we do today. Now, I'm not saying that we haven't got some skills here. I think that sometimes the mechanical skills that surgeons have are quite good, especially you break a bone or you just need something removed. It can be quite good, but it also can be quite bad. Because, for instance, in my case, where they went in and they removed my thyroid due to the cancer that blew up, what happened for me was I had to really work hard to feel alive afterwards because it was such a level of hormone change that it just almost was devastating beyond words. So I guess what I want you to do, if you can, is to look where you have Uranus in your chart and leave me a note as to where it is. And also, if you'll look where your Chiron is, and that will help me a good deal to understand how you might be impacted by this current shift in energy. Not one of us is not going to be impacted. I see massive change coming. I do not want to stoke fear because I'm not altogether sure it needs to be a fear-based outcome. And I know a lot of people are thinking, oh my God, the worst is going to happen. If you tune in on YouTube or TikTok or anywhere really, it's just fear, 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 fear. And Sun conjunct Uranus, I'm feeling hope. I'm feeling like we might go back to some methods. For instance, if we lose Medicaid, that is more homey, that children who have parents who are disabled and can't do it for themselves anymore, instead of being wheeled out to a street corner, which might happen, that they'll be wheeled right into their children's house and new things like what I'm going through with my mom can take place. Now, with that, I thank you so much for being here. Please do consider joining my channel, like, share, and subscribe. I ask for nothing. It is completely free to do so. Thank you so much.